like a guitar. Had to keep my distance, you ain't getting far. Nigga wants some smoke, let's go to war. Clean you up, I do the chores. Too much drip, someone gotta clean the floor. Still in the streets, fuck the law. Fuck the trunk, rather keep it in the car. If my dog cross me, we cutting off his paw. Too much drip in the place, so we gotta clean the floor.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Georgia Tech Dynasty. Johnny Eads back with you for a recruiting episode. Apologies, it took me a while to get this one up and running. My sister got married over the weekend, so I was out of town and back home. Couldn't bring the game with me. Obviously, was quite busy focusing on that. So back with it, though, here in Louisiana. So we got the recruiting episode, and then we'll get into our next game here shortly thereafter. As always, be sure to like and subscribe if you guys like the content. I appreciate everybody that watched our first game against Notre Dame. It was a really good game. So if you missed it, I'll tag it right here, show you some highlights. Definitely suggest you go check it out, as most of our games are very close, competitive, down to the last drive, down to the final few plays. But we pull out the win to start out the season, which is always a good thing. Now we're going to do our first recruiting episode, really, of the season and set up the board, go over who we need to bring in positionally, athlete-wise, look at how many scholarships we have available, and just set the table, really, for the season. So let's get right into it. All right, so the board is very raw. We got guys all over the place, guys that got to be scouted, all that good stuff. But let's look at the general things before we start with all of the, who do we need to recruit, all this, all that. So team needs-wise, on offense, they're saying we need a center, and then on defense, they're saying we need a corner and a free safety. So that's kind of the computer-generated stuff. As always, though, we try to spread the wealth and bring in as many people as possible at a lot of different positions. And then also we have 17 seniors, which means we have 17 scholarships available to give out. So let's get started. All right, we've gone through and scouted everybody, and I think now what I want to do is kind of run you through the prospects that you need to know here in the 10 to 12 guys we're going to fully start going after and trying to bring in. So let's go ahead and do that. I got to say, the offensive line class that we have on here, really, really good. We might bring in one of the best offensive lines ever to be in this game. So we got Jeremy Henry to start. He's the best prospect on our board. 81 overall, 6'6", 307. Gem went up 8 ticks. 80s all across the board in blocking, 86 strength, good acceleration. So he's a stud. He's definitely a guy we're going to put a lot of points on. John Ferguson, we scouted a minute ago. 5-star athlete, 6'1", 183, could play wide receiver, could play corner. So he's got a lot of talent that could be used at different positions. And then Quentin McMillan here, really good cornerback. Shorter guy, but really quick and speedy to make up for it, so we'll go after him. James Williams, another great offensive lineman, 6'4", 280. Another gem prospect, great blocking attributes, great acceleration. John McMillan, I talk about this offensive line class, same deal. His impact blocking is a bit low, but he's a stud. So we bring in 2 tackles, a guard. Got to bring in a center too, I guess, but maybe that guard could play center. Michael Hughes perhaps could play center. He's from Nevada. 6'2", 309. Again, good blocking, good excel. He's actually a little bit quicker than those other guys too, which is interesting. George Cook, we just got O-lineman on O-lineman here. Again, excellent blocking attributes. He's a big guy. And then John Gray, I'm excited about this guy. He's from New Jersey, 6'4", 187, 88 speed, 90 excel, good tackling, good coverage numbers, good block shed. He's going to be our guy at strong safety. John Williams here, he's pretty speedy, good juke move. Decent in coverage, so he could play a lot of different things, I feel like. Perhaps running back, perhaps corner, perhaps receiver. So gadget type guy. Corey Bracken's our top linebacker prospect for this cycle. A gem, good speed, good tackling, so we got to go after him. And then these are the guys that are kind of hanging on the outside. We're going to go after one of these, or a couple of these D tackles, Bonner, Edmonds, Alexander, and then I need this guy. Look at this guy's name, Tavarius Williamson. That is the coolest computer-generated name I think I've seen in a minute. So we got to go after him too. So we're going to start spreading these points out. I think for D tackle, our guy, it's probably going to be Alexander there, David Alexander. But Bonner here is pretty decent too, and Edmonds is as well. So we'll see. We got to start handing these points out up top. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, we're going to start with the scholarships. So we're going to go through and give dudes schollies and see if we can get any instant commitment. Bang, we got one, folks. Michael Hughes, 6'2", 309, from Nevada. Our first commitment of the cycle, and he's a stud. So I said we needed a center. I think this guy could play center. 84 pass block, 77 run block, 80 impact block, 89 excel, 86 strength. So that probably fills that void, and we already got a stud offensive lineman in the class, 4-star, number 4 guard. Great way to start. Bang, that's 2. These are some of my favorite episodes of the year because we get instant commits all the time. We got another one. John Williams, 5'11", 164, in-state guy, number 2 already. Huge. That's how you build classes early. 4-star athlete, number 14 overall athlete. Good speed, good coverage, decent catching, pretty good carrying, good juke move. So he could be a corner, he could be a receiver, he could be a running back. There's a lot of different things that we could do with this guy. So a nice gadget to have on the board early. All right, scholarships have been handed out. We got 2 instant commits out of it, and now we're going to hand points out and distribute them to the folks as needed. All right, points have been handed out, so here's how I did it. Our top prospect has to get the full 700, so we gave that to Henry. We got a lead. Let's try to build it. Ferguson got 600 because he's our second overall prospect from an overall standpoint. McMillan gets 5 because, we need a corner for sure. We brought a lot in, though, so I don't think we need to go fully on him yet, and we got a lot of guys towards the bottom of the list, too, that we're going after at that position, too. And we already have the athlete on board that could play corner. Williams gets 300 because we just brought in a guard, so we don't necessarily need another one, so it'd be nice if we did. I'm not going to invest too many resources into him, though. Same with McMillan. We've already got a lot of points up top, and we've got a lot of offensive linemen on the board, so we're going to spread them out evenly and see who likes us, who doesn't. Nugent gets 400 because he's a quarterback, and he's the only quarterback we're kind of going after, so he gets a lot of points. Smith gets 250 because we got a lot of receivers in from last year. He's probably 1 or 2 that we'll bring in this year, so it's not a pertinent need. We'd love to have him, kind of a luxury, so he gets less points than he probably should. And then, same thing, offensive line, spreading the points out, 200. John Gray's our top strong safety prospect, so he gets 400 for that. He's going to get extra points than he normally would, and, we got to go heavy on him early because we're in 3rd place to start. Bracken gets 300. He's the only linebacker we got on the board right now, so we're going to put a decent amount of resources into him. Joe Scott's like a tight end solely, it kind of looks like, so we're putting 100 on him. We gave him a scholarship, and we'll see what happens. I thought he would instant commit, but he didn't. Joe Johnson, lower rated guy. We'll go after him, but not super crazy with the points. David Alexander gets the full amount that I should give, like 450, because he's our top D tackle prospect. So even though he's the 15th guy on our board, he gets 450. Corey Russell's got us locked out, so we'll work on that next week. We don't have the points to do that right now. Chris Franklin has us. We put 75 on Chris Franklin because tight end's not really a need, but I'd love to bring one in, so we'll kind of monitor that recruitment as it goes on. Bonner's our second option at D tackles. He gets 250, and then I only had 5 points left to give to DeVarius and Brigham Edmonds, 2 awesome names. So that's how our board's looking. Oh, we actually have 5 more points to give, so we'll put 10 on DeVarius because of the name. And we'll go in next week, and we'll see what changes, if anything. All right, let's hit drip of the day real quick. It's going to go to Justin McCoy this week. He plays D-end. He's a sophomore, former huge recruit that we got not too long ago. He had a sack in this game. He's had some nice plays in the past, too. He already looks pretty nice, but we're going to go ahead and kind of fine-tune his style a little bit, and he'll be our drip of the day candidate for this week. If you guys have any candidates in mind that you saw or you would like to suggest one, comment section is always open. So new school record, Sean Brown's second for receptions in a career at Georgia Tech. He's got 210. He's still got a whole season to play as long as he avoids injury. He was kind of quiet in the first game, and again, we promised him a first-round draft pick this year, so we got some work to do with him. But, we're trying to win games this year, so we can't focus on one player. But good for Sean. Him and Thomas Nelson, two of the best receivers I've ever had in this video game, two of the best to ever play at Georgia Tech, and that's all the proof you need right there. All right, that'll do it for this week's recruiting episode. As you can see, we're up to number 12 in the country, moved up 3 spots. And we got OU next up. They're number 13 right behind us. That game is on the road, so another tough test going back on the road to play a good team, and it should be a great game, so make sure you check back for that one. Like the video, sub to the channel. Season's just getting started. Also, hit the bell for the post notifications. I post early in the morning, so if you're at work, you're waking up, you miss it, you get the notification, you'll know I posted. You can watch it later, all right? Or if you subscribe, it'll pop up on your homepage. Again, really appreciate all the support. Really excited for the rest of the season. Let's get Game 2 going in the next episode. Check back for it. Appreciate y'all watching. Peace. Go Jackets.